So what exactly is an en bloc sale? It's something you've probably heard me say a bunch of times, or something that comes across your property listing feed. Well, en bloc sales are like the talk of the town in the real estate world. People have so many questions and honestly a bunch of myths surrounding them. That's why it's crucial to understand what's truth and what's not, because it could make a huge difference in your property journey.
So the big question is this: how busy professionals and homeowners like us make six-figure profits from the property we own safely by doing it with research, data, and numbers. How do we buy in a way without complications and half-guessing, regardless of the market conditions, and still remain profitable? That is the question. Here, I will share with you exactly what we do and how we do it. My name is Edmund, and welcome to Singapore Real Estate Insider.
Hi everyone, Coach Edmund Tan here, your Singapore Real Estate Insider. Now let's start with the definition. An en bloc sale is also known as a collective sale. It refers to the process where a group of property owners in a particular development collectively agrees to sell their property together as a single transaction. To put this into perspective, let's say you and a group of neighbors in your condominium complex decide that it's a good time to sell your individual unit. Instead of each of you selling your unit separately, you all agree to sell them together as one large property package. This way, a developer or buyer can acquire the entire complex in one go. By doing this, you hope to get a better overall price for the whole complex compared to selling each unit independently. Singaporeans are not always in agreement when it comes to en bloc sales. It has always been a hot topic in the real estate market. Property owners and investors often have mixed feelings about them, influenced by common myths and misconceptions. So let's explore the en bloc process and debunk some of the myths surrounding it. Myth number 1. All properties will definitely get en bloc. The reality? Not all old properties are guaranteed to undergo an en bloc sales. There are two critical considerations come into play before a property gets considered for an en bloc. Number 1, profitability. Number 2, and human factor. Profitability for developers. Developers are in the business to make a profit. When considering an old development for en bloc, they focus on two key metrics. Existing strata area. This represents the total floor area of all individual units in the development. Gross floor area, GFA. GFA is a total area that can be built on the land considering zoning regulations and plot ratios. For en bloc sales to make sense, there must be a gap between ESA as well as GFA. In other words, developers should have the opportunity to maximize the available space by building additional units for sale. For example, the Euro-Asia apartment sold en bloc for 222 million had a maximum GFA of 158,000 square feet. In comparison, the ESA was only 120,000 square feet. This gap allowed for potential profits and the successful en bloc sale. Are you currently staying in one property that has undergone en bloc exercise multiple times yet still unable to make that a reality? Why? Have you asked yourself? Share in the comments if you are currently in this situation below. Perhaps there are better solutions you can undergo instead of waiting indefinitely, right? Next is the human factor. En bloc sales require the approval of property owners within the development. The agreed upon sale price must be reasonable for the developer to proceed with bidding and purchase. For instance, the recent attempt to en bloc People's Park Centre failed to attract developers' bids because the reserve price of 1.8 billion translated to a land rate of $2,620 per square foot. When factoring construction and marketing costs, the PSF price to the public could have reached up to $4,000 per square foot, a risky proposition for developers, as the public might not accept such high prices.
Hey, have you subscribed to our channel yet? Come on, help us here by clicking on the bell notification. This will help us a lot.
Myth number 2. En bloc sales are always a good thing for property owners. The reality? En bloc sales can be advantageous for property owners seeking to profit from their properties, but they are with risks. As a rule, most of the homeowners of a development of a proposed en bloc sales need to agree. If the homes are older than 10 years, at least 80% of the homeowners must say yes. For newer homes, it's an even higher requirement, 90% agreement. If enough homeowners agree, even those who don't want to sell might have to leave. They will still get some money from the sale, but they have to find a new place to live in because they can't say no to the sale. There is no guarantee that a developer will obtain the necessary approvals for redevelopment, and residents may face disruptions. Myth number 3. En bloc sales are only for good or depleted properties. The reality? En bloc sales can happen to properties of any age or condition. Even relatively new properties have undergone en bloc sales in recent years. In Singapore, certain property projects undergo en bloc sales even before reaching an undesirable state. An example is the Olivo, a 36-unit freehold condo which became the youngest ever to go en bloc in 2018 after just 4 years. Another instance is the Estira, a 23-unit freehold condo which went en bloc in 2007 at age of 9. Myth number 4. En bloc sales are only for freehold properties. The reality? Both freehold and leasehold properties can be sold en bloc. In 2019, a notable en bloc sales involving leasehold properties occurred in Singapore. The development known as Tulip Garden, comprising 162 units of leasehold apartments with about 69 years left on the lease, successfully went through the en bloc process. This contradicts the myth that the en bloc sales are exclusive to freehold properties. However, the challenges and considerations may differ, with leasehold properties requiring a more strategic approach due to its shorter time frame for development and recoupling investments. Number 5. En bloc sales are only for large properties. The reality? En bloc sales can involve properties of various sizes. Smaller properties may need help finding buyers, but they are not exempt from the en bloc process. Example of this is Jensen Mansion, a 12-unit development near Kovan MRT, and Blossom Mansions, a development with only 20 units at Lorong 37 in Geylang. Myth number 6. En bloc sales are only for properties in prime locations. Well, the reality is en bloc sales can occur in any type of locations. Properties in prime locations may be more desirable to developers. Still, the en bloc process is wider than such areas. Consider the case of a residential area on the outskirts of a city, where older developments are situated. These buildings may not be in a prime location, but if the area is undergoing urban redevelopment, or experiencing increased demand, property owners might decide to collectively sell their units through an en bloc sale. In this scenario, developers could be interested in acquiring a larger parcel of land to build new and modern structures. The attractiveness of a location may not be solely based on its prime status, but rather on the potential for growth, revitalization, or a shift in market trends. Therefore, the myth that en bloc sales are limited to prime locations is debunked by the reality that these sales can take place in diverse settings where there is potential for redevelopment and increased property value. It's crucial to evaluate each en bloc opportunity on a case-by-case basis, considering factors like profitability, market conditions, and individual circumstances. So, what is your best bet in securing a 6-figure profit potential? Now, let's go out and make sound property investment choices today. Contact me if you are going for a consultation to need help in your property matters. And that's all for now. I'll see you real soon.